had a passion for cities from the time that I was in high school and really was able to travel to some of the great cities of the world for the first time and feel the energy and the passion and the bustle. And I was fortunate to be recruited by a mentor to come and experience and help contribute to what we're doing here to build that type of a city in downtown Dallas. I started as managing director of the Main Street District. That was my focus, was to bring more activity and more life, and then worked my way up as Senior Vice President of Marketing, Executive Vice President of DDI, and now President and CEO.
I've been plowing the vineyards around the greater downtown area for a really long time, probably 40 years. Boeing Aircraft came to town and was looking for a headquarters location. They looked here, Denver, and Chicago, and they selected Chicago. When asked why they didn't pick Dallas, they said downtown is dead and there is no culture. That was really my motivation to say we had reached the point where we need to seriously do something that will get downtown back on track.
DDI's been playing a role in the transformation of downtown really since we were founded in 1958. But as downtown has changed and evolved, certainly so has our mission. What has really made a difference within the last, say, 20 to 30 years is the addition of residential. That, to me, is when the environment really changed.
Over the years, it's really just been a matter of working alongside DDI to advance downtown's interests overall and to initiate what we could as a company when I was running Belo Corp and AH Belo Corporation. My father was one of the founders of the Central Dallas Association, and the idea in the 50s was the same as it is today, to recognize the importance of the center of the city, to advance its interests in ways that civic-minded individuals, companies, organizations, not-for-profits could join together and ensure that the core is healthy.
There was a perception problem out there that we needed to deal with. It was like turning the Titanic. A lot of people had lost interest in downtown, and so we started working on the perception of clean and safe first of all.
The biggest change that I've seen downtown is the element of livability. It's transforming downtown from a commercial office park into one where you do have people living and going to our parks and walking their dogs and rolling their strollers. So we're no longer that 9 to 5 downtown. We are a place where people live and work and play.
I've often said that if you had told me all of this could happen by 2030, I would have been impressed. It's happened 15 years sooner than that, and it's accelerating very rapidly.
You know, when we started 15 years ago, there were a couple of hundred people that lived downtown. Today, there's 11,000 people that live in the urban core. A lot of the historic older buildings played a big role in providing an adaptive reuse opportunity.
Historic buildings in downtown, they're our story. They're what bring the authenticity. They're what bring the uniqueness to downtown. DDI has supported the rehabilitation of a lot of buildings, and that we work as the liaison between the public and the private sector. So we work very closely with the development community as they're coming into the market to look at all options for how to make these projects work.
We got together with DDI initially when we came to Dallas and we're looking around. Our office was in Denver, and we decided to come down and check out some older buildings that were in downtown Dallas.
So here come talented residential real estate developers who said, I'm ready for that challenge. I'm going to dive in and see how we convert a funky old office building to residential.
We wound up buying the Magnolia building in Dallas and the Davis building. The buildings themselves were these trophy buildings, and we were just mesmerized when we came down here. The challenge wasn't so much the physical buildings. It was, would there be any renters? Would there be, any hotel guests?
In the 1960s, when I was a kid growing up in Dallas, I thought of downtown as our retail center. I'd come to movies, go to all the department stores. By the early 80s, it was an office park. Most of the retailers had left. It was a single-use downtown. Then we got culture.
There are layers of architecture. We've got classic revival, Beaux-Art, Art Deco design. We've got mid-century modern. Now we've got contemporary architecture. And people appreciate that, and a city thrives on that.
These adaptive reuse projects are all incredibly complicated, and I continue to be amazed as each one gets done. The redevelopment of the Statler is incredibly important to us for a variety of reasons. It is situated on Main Street Garden and completes all four sides of the park. So you have Dallas's story told in architecture surrounding that park.
When you walk downtown and you see buildings that span 100 to 150 years, it's an education to us all about the history of our city. Old buildings, some of them beautiful and rich and expensive, along with old buildings that are humble and soft and worn, offer different economic opportunities for different uses and different people.
Clearly, people have come to recognize here and across the country that we cannot raise every building in our center cities and just start over. This is a reflection of the way the entire country is moving, and I think we should be very encouraged by it. These structures have value. We need to figure out a way to find the highest and best use for them, and then incorporate around them the streetscape, the park space, all of the things that build a really interesting and rewarding urban community in the center of our city.
A strong downtown is really important to a city because it is people's identity of the city and the metropolitan area that they're in. It provides the spirit, the heart and soul of the city. If that heart and soul is not vibrant and strong, then I think the whole metropolitan area suffers. So we can't be without a really strong downtown.
For downtown Dallas, I think the future holds a lot more residents, a lot more recreation. A lot more of that word livable, of a livable downtown. Bringing more entrepreneurs, more Fortune 500 companies. Dallas deserves to be an international city, and downtown is a driving force, and we'll be the heart of that.
Success is a team sport, and we've had a lot of help to get downtown to where it needs to be. But to be honored in such a wonderful way by Preservation Dallas is something that we're humbled and honored to receive.
I couldn't be more pleased that Preservation Dallas has chosen to honor DDI. They deserve it. I congratulate the DDI team from the bottom of my heart. It's a wonderful team doing great work. Congratulations.
I think it's especially meaningful that Preservation Dallas is recognizing DDI for its work across so many different fronts, especially in this instance, the highest and best use of every important building in downtown Dallas.
I heartily congratulate DDI for being the award recipient this year. Richly deserved and long overdue.
We are preserving our story in downtown, and we very much celebrate the contributions that preservation makes to the overall urban fabric as we continue to rebuild downtown Dallas.
I am a big fan of the Pegasus. I tell people all the time that only in Dallas where horses can fly.